Basic earnings per share. So I'm going to show you a walkthrough of how the problem goes. Um, this is not how we're going to do all of them. So what I'd like you to do is take some paper next to me, and you should write on your paper everything that I write. All right? So this is the problem. It comes up on the computer screen. So we're not going to write this out. We're going to have this printed out in front of us. It's on a computer screen. The first thing we do is we look at the last line for the task to perform. And the last sentence says, calculate company's basic earnings per share for the year. That's what we're going to do. Then we recall the basic earnings per share formula and write it out. Net income minus preferred stock dividends over weighted average common shares. Simply put. Now we fill in the data. So what we have is 741 million in income. We can put that one in. And we have 54 million, and then we sold some shares, and then we repurchased some shares. We bought some shares. So we have some transactions. We need to build the capital table for the weighted average capital. We do that by putting date, quant, if split, and time. And that will equal a result. Okay? So the first date we start 1/1. The next change date was 2/28. And we had 544 million shares for that entire time. We did not split, so we had 2 months out of 12. We'll do the calculations later. The next one we did was from 3/1 after February 28th, okay, to 4/30. We added 36 shares, so we'll really quickly put that in there like that, and we have 580. It did not split, and it was outstanding for 2 out of 12 months. And then to the end of the year, 5/1 to 12/31, all we did was have a transaction from April 30th on of minus 6 shares, so that's 574, and that is at 8/12. Okay, let's get the calculator out and multiply these out. 90.67 is your first result, 96.67 your second, 382.67. I'll let you catch up with those calculations. You should do the calculations on a typical 10 key type calculator. You can do it on a screen. You can do it on your telephone as well, because you will have a calculator on the screen at the test center. You should be familiar with how to use that. When we added that up, it's 570 million. We put 570 million. It's dollars over millions of quantities. Okay, and that is going to equal $1.30. $1.30 is your basic earnings per share. Now you've solved the equation. You recalled your basic formula, you filled in the data, you did your data, you solved the equation, you're sure about that. Now you look at the answers. There's the answer, the correct answer. 77 cents is a choice. All the choices will be mistakes that you could possibly make. That's how teachers write these answers. They don't just make them up. They find out what you're likely to make an error on, and that's the selection that's chosen. 77 cents. If your numerator and denominator were reversed, happens all the time. How many times have you done it? $1.36. If you only totaled the capital and then used that number. And $1.38 if you used a simple average. You just went from 544 to 574, divided it by 2, because you didn't know how to do this. But when you know how to do it, You get $1.30 correct, and that is basic earnings per share. And by the way, the $47 is the distractor.